the Life and Health Show once more time. My goodness, I am fired up. I got to comport myself because I'm on the live. But if not, you would see me dancing fired up. All right. All right. So before we move ahead, I just need you to be happy. That's how life is. You got to be happy. You got to be joyful all the time. You're not going to get everything 100%, but whatever you get, just be grateful and be happy. So that's why I'm a little jiggle, but that's what it is. So we talked about using life insurance, specifically index life insurance, to overcome poverty. Using it as something that would help you overcome poverty. And before we hit the topic for today, which you all know, debt roll up, using how to use debt roll up to overcome poverty, to eliminate your debt and start investing. How to use debt roll up to eliminate your debt. Before we do that, as I was getting to on a health tip for the week, Life and Health Show, we also talk about health. How our latest health video we released us on vitamin D. We started a series of vitamin D. We talked about the importance, but yesterday we released a video about the sources, the natural sources. There are more sources, but yesterday we did natural sources of vitamin D. Most people are very concerned about where they get their vitamins from. And so we used yesterday's video to explain what the natural sources are. So as a health tip for this week, I just want to highlight maybe 2 or 3 of the natural sources of vitamin D. And hopefully this week you will eat 1 or 2, or maybe do a couple of things that will make you gain some natural vitamin D. All right, so the first natural source of vitamin D that we articulated on a video, if you haven't watched, you can go after this show. Don't go now. After the show, go there and watch it. Is that the first natural source of vitamin D is sunlight. That is where we get our primary source of vitamin D. But the only thing is, when God made us, He knew we were going to be in the sun for the most part, and so we could just make our own vitamin D by just going through our daily life. But because of modernity, civilization, you can stay in your home or be at work and never see the sun. So we are not getting the amount of vitamin D that we could get from the sun. And so if you have the ability to step out maybe at your lunchtime during work, just to walk, take a stroll in the sun 30 minutes a day, you are going to actually increase your vitamin D levels, just because you're exposing your skin to the sun. Your skin will convert a chemical we call dihydrocholesterol, or I think it's dihydrocholesterol. It's going to change that into vitamin D for you. So that is the first natural source. But again, because we are not going out enough, we don't get it. The second reason is that for most people who are dark skinned like me, because of a melanin pigment, the pigment that makes our skin dark, it's placed there to protect us from the harmful rays of the sun, especially because of where we come from on the equator. And so that also prevents us from getting enough of the sunlight that would penetrate in our skin to make us able to do or make our own vitamin D. So dark-skinned people don't make a lot of that vitamin D compared to light-skinned people. And so though sunlight is a good natural source, it may be that if you're especially dark-skinned, you may not have enough from sunlight. So that leads us to the next natural source of vitamin D. And the next natural source of vitamin D is mushrooms. All right? I don't know if anybody on the live likes mushrooms, but I know a lot of people don't eat mushrooms. But if you are somebody who can incorporate mushrooms into your diet, then obviously you are going to increase your natural sources of vitamin D. I'll add one more and then we'll move on. For the full list, about 7 of them that we talked about, for the full list, you have to go back to our channel and watch the entire video. All right. So apart from mushroom, the next one that we also talked about is eggs. Eggs. When you were eating eggs, you thought you were just eating eggs for eating sake. It's not just for eating sake. You get a benefit of vitamin D naturally occurring in the egg, especially the yolk of eggs. So if you eat eggs and you eat the yolk of eggs, you are getting natural source of vitamin D. So those of you who don't eat eggs or who have any reason not to eat eggs, especially if it's not because you are allergic, you probably should start eating eggs. Now, the question is, how many eggs should I eat? and it's not much. However, you can include in your diet, you are still going to get something on it. I don't know if you want to add anything or
Yeah, so I think I have a question. So if you were suggesting that you can step outside and you can still get vitamin D, right?
yeah.
So with this weather, it's so cold. So if you're going to cover up and still step out, are you going to get the vitamin D? Like you were saying that you can stay outside for 30 minutes and you can get vitamin D. So are you going to get enough if you are covered up from head to toe?
You are not going to get enough. In fact, the source of vitamin D from sun at this point is not as great as it was meant to be. We were all made around the equator, so God knew why He placed us there because He knew we were getting the sun right there. Middle East and Africa thereabout. But of course, migration, civilization, we don't get enough from the sun anymore. And like you said, who's going to step out when it's cold?
It's that
Just
cold.
just
Yeah.
because they want to get sunlight. You don't get enough from your skin. There are still benefits of stepping out in the sun, even when you are wearing a jacket. The warmth that you feel under your coat, there's another health benefit for that. As a matter of fact, in short, you get immune system boost just from the, radiation, the heat that you get from the sun, and so that benefit is there. But if you want to use just stepping out in the sun for the source of vitamin D, that's not going to be enough. And that is why the other sources of vitamin D are very important to basically use, because those you can tell if you're eating eggs, if you're eating mushrooms, you're definitely sure you're getting something out of that. And again, there is more, but we don't want to say everything because you have a whole show ahead of us. So make sure if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that after the show, you can go and look and watch for the entire video, an entire list of sources for natural vitamin D. All right, so we are on the way to the next thing that we are about to do. Now, our topic, as we have already alluded to, is using debt roll up to, let me just read it, make sure. How to eliminate debt, how to eliminate or how to remove, cure, destroy debt using debt roll up method, and then start investing. That is huge. My goodness. I want you to call your neighbors. I mean, when I say your neighbors, I don't say go outside of your house. Your wife or your husband, your friend, share the stream with them and let them watch it, because we are going to learn something on the fly. Very important stuff. All right, so we will move ahead with the show right now. Let's see what we got here. All right, so honey, let's start and keep. I think our first thing was what we want to talk about is last time we met, we said something like I don't know if you remember. We said the foundation of creating wealth, right? If you want to create wealth, there's something that you got to do. There is something that you got to do, and there are steps of creating wealth. So the steps for wealth growth, we have to first review that, and then with that, we will base on our argument for you understand why. Basically, you understand why we need to do a debt roll up to eliminate debt. So foundations of making wealth. Let's hit that quickly. We alluded to that in our last two shows. All right. So
So with our main topic, we are trying to what we are trying to get out of poverty. That's the
yeah.
main heading, right? So in order to get out of poverty, we have to start creating wealth, generational wealth. So that's what we've been talking about so far. So in order for us to get there, there are steps that we have to go through. I think we started last 2 weeks and we talked about the first important point. Some people will just start saying that I want to create wealth and they don't know the steps. So I think this show is very important that we are going to start the right way in creating wealth.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So the first step, before we even hit the real debt roll up issue, it's making sure that we have the foundation. We go stepwise as to what we are going to do to make us overcome poverty. And we discussed this protection. The protection comes under last two shows where we talked about making sure you have what a life
Life
insurance
insurance. Yeah.
and health insurance, long-term care insurance, all those things that come together to protect you. That basically form the basis of um, where you are going. I mean, I don't know how to put it, but if you don't have anything that protects you and you start building wealth other ways, you can lose everything. So basically, like building a house, you got to start from the foundation.
Right.
So the foundation of making and creating wealth starts with protection, and protection encompasses life insurance, it encompasses long-term care insurance, and with the life insurance, we hammered a little bit on the index universal life insurance for the reason that it is a potential tool for financial growth and wealth creation. And so, uh, that being said, all forms of life insurance will take care of protection, except if it is temporary insurance, which is term insurance. Those may not be enough because at some point they end. So if you're watching the show and you have term insurance, I'm here to tell you that you have something. I'm not going to discourage you have something, but it is not the end all be all when it comes to protection. If you want protection, we should graduate from term to whole life or index life, which takes care of your entire life and with sometimes with benefits financially as far as cash accumulation is concerned. So that was protection. We hammered a lot on that. I don't know if you want to add anything before
Yeah,
we go to
and
the
with the
next.
protection, I think we also talked about the health insurance.
Mhm.
That there is no way that you are going to live your life without health insurance. And we talked about where you can get your health insurance. And if you have a job, you make sure that you sign up for health insurance. That is protection. So you can't start creating wealth if you don't have health insurance. So we hammered on the importance of getting health insurance. And through that, you can build up wealth using HSA, the health
Definitely.
savings account.
Mhm.
So those are the things that we talked about. If you missed that, I think the video is still available. You can still go and watch that.
Yes, definitely. Make sure you are subscribed. And again, as the last two shows, the last week we interviewed a guest about how she's doing on her business. The previous show talks about the protection in detail. All
And
right,
the next one, I think we also talked about the long
the
term,
long-term
and we also
care
talk
and the health
about the health
insurance.
insurance.
So there are
So we did
several
a lot of
videos.
protections
Yes,
over there.
several
Yeah.
videos there that you can check. All right, so now with that out of the way, the next one on our list of things that we have to do to let me make sure that my mouse is moving. There we go. That we have to do to make sure that we are on the right track is debt elimination. Debt elimination. So after you have protected yourself with health insurance, long-term care insurance, life insurance, and all those kinds of things that can protect you in terms of if something happens now, you'll be taken care of, whether it is being able to get care from long-term care insurance, or if you pass away, God forbid, your family, your asset, everything being taken care of. Those are the protections. After you have taken care of all those, which we believe that's the first, is the foundation. The next one is debt elimination. And that is where we are. That's why we're going to talk about debt roll up. So that is debt elimination. You want to add anything or we should move forward?
Should move forward.
All right. So what is debt elimination then? Debt elimination. Debt elimination, as it sounds, is literally eliminating debt completely, not halfway. Getting rid of debt completely. That is it. That's it. All right. So we are going to say more on that topic today when we get to how to eliminate debt using debt roller. But we want to just make sure that we go through the series of things that we are going to do.
So
Next
I
one.
think with the debt elimination, can you think of the Bible talking about somebody if you owe Bible that talk about like if you owe your
Yeah, you
owners
are basically like a slave to
a
the
slave
to the
to
person
the
who
owner.
who,
So
who you owe to. So you want to definitely take care of debt. Some people say that we should keep debt because debt is good.
right.
We probably will have a show and see how and when debt may be useful. But for now, if you are watching, listen, there is no thing as better as you having cash and doing things yourself, not owing anyone. At least for now, that's where we are going at.
But
And
the funny thing is if you come to this country, like
If you're
the
in the
first,
US.
yeah, if you're in US, all that you keep hearing is like you have to get into debt because everybody owe. So it's good to get a credit card and use the credit card in order to build your credit. So you can, somebody will argue that, what do you mean I should eliminate my debt completely? Because if I eliminate my debt, I'm not going to have credit. So in case I want to buy a house, I want to buy a car, how am I going to get that credit to buy it?
I disagree. You can have credit without owing anybody.
Mm.
You know, if you have a credit card with um, a capacity to use or spend 20,000 and you haven't used it, or maybe you have used 500, you have credit. And when they check your credit, they see, oh my goodness, this guy has credit, but he has enough money that he's not even dependent on his credit. That is what credit is. It doesn't mean you should use the credit and be so strained that your life becomes miserable.
Mm.
That is where we are going. So
Yes.
yes, debt, if you use it well, can be helpful. But like I say, we'll probably have another show and talk about how to use debt, as leverage, as my brother would say. My brother, the real estate guy, he's watching the show right now. All right. All right. So yeah, so debt may be good to some extent if you are able to manage it well. But for those of us who are starting to create wealth right from the get-go, we shouldn't, think like those people who are already made it and leveraging debt, because we want to make sure we have free money in our hands to be able to have purchasing power, as we talked about last time, and do the things that we want to do. All right. All right. So after debt elimination, the next thing is setting up emergency fund. Now, the studies have shown a lot of households in the United States have no emergency funds, and it comes down to a lot of people, professionals, not just people who are working class. I'm talking about professionals, because it is not easy to keep that. Expenses are always up there, but once we go through debt elimination, we'll be able to set up the emergency fund. So the protection is your number one, because if something happens, you can't work. And if you can't work, your income has ceased. And not only will it cease, you may need money to take care of you when you can't work. And so definitely protection is number one. And then the debt elimination. Then we go to emergency fund, and then investments.
So with the emergency fund, I think the uh, the resource people are saying that it's good to have up to what, 6 months,
3 to 6 months.
and
Yeah.
after COVID, they are even suggesting 1 year emergency fund. So after eliminating the debt, you have to put aside 6 months emergency fund, meaning that you have enough to take care of the basics bills that come, you know, up to 6 months, which is a lot of money.
Yes.
So we have to take note of that too. It's very important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So that is that. So that takes us to investments. Now, investments is when everybody you talk to says real estate. And I do agree, real estate is good. If you know what you're doing, real estate is good. Most people, well, I want to go in real estate, I want to invest. And if you ask them, it's real estate. Very good. But before you do real estate, before you invest, whatever business it is, you must make sure that your debt is under control. You don't owe the bank huge money and then you go and invest. So unless you know that for a certainty your investment is going to be, you're going to get the money that you're putting in. But why would you put in money to start a business when you are owing somebody? When you do that, in my adage, there's a thing that we say that those of you who are watching from where I was originally born, you understand. If you owe somebody, you don't basically eat delicacies. Literally translating, if you owe somebody, you don't eat sardines, right? Because sardines, when they made up that code, sardines were a delicacy, was like only for the rich. So if you owe somebody, you don't eat like the rich person. That is what that means. So if you are owing the bank in huge sums of credit card, whatever it is you are owing, and then you are using the money, cash that you have, acquired through hard work to go and invest again. What if you lose that money? Your debt will still be waiting for you and growing. So you don't do that. You make sure that you clear your debt, and then once the debt is cleared, the free money you got, you throw that into the investments. So that is the good thing that we need to know. Most people start from here. The little money they get, they still have student loans, huge student loans, and yet once they start work, they save and they put money. I'm going to real estate. Well, you are investing money, but you are going into real estate. Good, you may win. Granted, student loan interest may be not too big, so sometimes it makes a little sense. But for other credit cards, for bank loans that are high interest rates, you don't bring your money to invest, especially when a debt like 7%, 10%, 12%, and when it comes to credit card, 18%, 20%, 28%, when that debt is growing at such an alarming interest rate. And then you throw money into investing, put that money to take care of the debt. Once the interest is taken care of, that is more business. You're getting more returns for not paying those interests, right? Than to start another business, which you may not even break even. Or even if you break even, you may not even get 10% returns. Meanwhile, your credit card is growing at 19%.
Wow.
So what's the point?
Mm.
And so that is the thing that we need to know right here. My goodness. That is it. So we got to make sure that we do things the
So
right way.
indirectly, we are not building our wealth from top to bottom, but we are
Yes.
building from bottom to top.
It's got to be from bottom
Because
to top.
if we do it from the top, the probability of that crashing is very huge because the foundation is not strong. So like you were saying, if the interest rate on your debt is so high and you've invested in something that the return interest is not equal or less than what you owe, indirectly you are mounting up debts. Why don't you use the money to get rid of the debt so that the interest rates will be used towards your investment,
Definitely.
which is very good.
Definitely. So that is that for that particular point. Let's see where we are right now. All right. So we are going to go into the next. And the next slide, we're saying that some people are saying that credit card, I got the loans, I got everything, but I'm going to take my time. Nobody's chasing me. I'm going to be able to do it at some point. Why? My chair is making noise. I'm going to do it at some point. So I'm going to take my time. You got to start now. Today is the time. Because, those of us who have had credit cards, it doesn't stop at the last Christmas shopping. There's going to be some sales, right? It's going to still come up. And if you don't determine to make that first step of getting rid of the debt, it's going to continue to grow. And so we said 1,000-mile journey begins with a step. First steps are very necessary. Put a step out and consistently work towards eliminating your debt. Because without debt elimination, there's no financial freedom, no financial independence. You are going to be stuck owing and working for the banks because they will not give you their money for free. All right. So that is the first step. And we are also saying that if you decide to eliminate debt, there is something that you got to do. You got to work hard. People who, if you are not ready to work hard, forget it. Just keep using your credit cards because you are not going to make anything. And if you don't make anything, what is going to happen is that you are still going to incur debt because you have bills. You have bills that you're going to pay, right? You are going to pay bills. You are going to do a host of other things that you probably haven't talked about yet. But you got to make sure that you have eliminated all your debts. You have to make sure that you are working hard. Work hard. Scripture says in Proverbs 10, 4, it says that lazy hands make a man poor. Lazy hands make a man poor, but the diligent hands bring wealth. This is scriptural. So if you want wealth, you cannot eliminate hard work. Hard work is the first thing. If you are going to be able to, deal with your debt, you have to tell yourself, I'm going to work hard. I got to pick up an extra shift here and there. I got to make sure that I don't call out of work every little chance that I get. Oh, today is Super Bowl. I want to stay home and watch the Super Bowl. So I'm not going to do it. Oh my God. Well, some people will say that, yeah, Super Bowl, I'll call out. And people do call out. Well, if you are rich and you have the money, and you probably own your business, you don't need to call out because the business is for you. But if you're working for somebody and you have huge credit card debts and Super Bowl is coming, these people are playing, getting millions, and you poor man, a poor woman, you call out and stay home. because you want to enjoy the game. You're going to continue to be poor when those people are making money off of you. So any man or woman, for that matter, who wants to overcome poverty, who wants to overcome and break through and be able to take care of every debt, must be diligent in working hard. This is for hard working people. If you don't want to work hard, just leave the stream right now because you are going to keep making debt right now. But no, keep watching because you are going to change your mind. And I know people who watch here are very hard working. All right, so that is that for that one. Now,
And if I can add,
yes,
working hard, but it's good to work hard, but you should also work smart.
work smart.
Work smart, because you can work hard. I know a lot of hard working people, and you can see that they are still not breaking through, but they are working really hard. So we have this saying that knowing less costs much. Knowing less costs much. So if you don't know the right things to do, you can work hard. And if you have wrong information, like I was saying earlier about you having credit card and using credit card and getting in debt will make you have credit to buy a house or a car. That can be misinformation. So if you don't really understand it, you can work as hard as you want, but because you don't have the knowledge, because you know less, or you are not open to new ideas and new understanding, you are going to remain poor because you lack the knowledge and the skill and the things, the know-how to get out of debt. So I think we should get open-minded and we should seek for knowledge, because knowing less will cost us much.
Knowing less will cost us a lot.
A lot.
And
Yeah.
but that actually is scriptural, right? For the lack of knowledge, my people perish. Oh my goodness. Lack of knowledge, my people perish. So knowing less is more detrimental to you. So if you say, I don't care, they're talking about financial education, I don't care. These people, they have a saying is that these people, they have nothing to do. Look at them sitting on the thing and talking about debt. They have nothing to do. We got something to do, but we want to help our community. And the thing that a community, many people lack is financial education, financial knowledge, understanding. And so many of the banks and credit card companies are taking advantage of us. And we have lived through it. And so we come to you and tell you this because we don't want you to experience the same things we have experienced. We want to make sure that all of us who are trying and working hard, we get the most out of our hard work. So don't let ignorance or not knowing anything cost you more, as the young lady is saying right here. All right. So do you have anything to add? Otherwise, we go. All right. So we are going to go to our next slide, and our next slide is that we are going to now hit the real means of eliminating debt, the debt roll-up method. We're going to use this table as an explanation how to actually eliminate your debt. This is very important right now. So we are doing it right now. And so what we are going to do is that we start from, I hope you can see the table on the left column. Let me use my mouse here so you can see my mouse. See where you can see my mouse. I hope you can see my mouse, but if you can't, that's fine. So what we want to do is go through this table as a sample debt roll-up method, and then we can apply this to your own peculiar situation. I know these numbers may be little, compared to your debt. If you are on the live and your debt is higher, say ha ha ha. This is somebody's total debt. It is $399,750, but your debt may be $30,000. It may be $50,000. It may be however many. It may be less, as a matter of fact. But having less is not an excuse. We want you to completely be debt free. So using this method, we are going to see how you can eliminate your debt. So this person we are dealing with has a debt of $399, as we see here. And you see mortgage on the left, the stream left, you have mortgage, we have bank, we have auto loan, we have MasterCard, we have home improvement, and we have general credit card. Now, for you, you may not have mortgage, but maybe it's some kind of a student loan. You may not have a bank loan, but maybe it's some kind of a car loan. You may have a car loan, but maybe it's a credit card, it's a consumer card, like for shopping at one of these top supermarkets or one of these big places where you go in our area. One of the top stores for men, especially young guys like me, Best Buy. You may have Best Buy credit card. Buy your electronics. If you're on a live and you shop there, say ha ha ha, because your brother is here right now. All right. And if you are a lady and you go to the malls and you shop, what are some of the places? Forever 21. If you are shopping there and using credit card, your credit cards say ha ha ha. So
We have
if you
Macy's.
have
We
Macy's
have
cards,
JC Penney.
JC Penney,
The scary thing is like when you go to such
Coles.
stores, they entice you.
Mhm.
They'll be like, "Oh, we have a lot on sale, and if you use our card, you are going to save this much."
Yes.
And sometimes too, after buying everything, they will tell you that if you sign up today,
You save
you save
20%.
20%.
Today, just get the credit card today and you save on this purchase right now.
Yes.
And they got me before.
So like
Oh my
if
goodness.
you have spent, maybe the total cost is $300, and you go to the register and the cashier is like, "Oh, if you sign up today, I'm going to take off 20%. 20% of what? 300 is how much? That'll be taken out and you're going to pay less."
You're going to pay less.
So that is very enticing. So if you don't know what you are about, you are going to fall for it.
You're going to definitely fall for it. Why? Because they are enticing you. They make you forget that credit card is at an interest of 25,
Yes.
29%. So even if they give you 20% off, they already made their money back. And so that is how they get everybody to use those cards. So your card may be here. It may not be listed, but like she's saying, maybe Macy's, Kohl's, and if you are watching outside of the United States, maybe it's a different card. It's a name that we don't know. But the idea is still the same. So these are the creditors arranged from largest to the smallest on the left side. And on the following the left side, we have a place here where it is showing you the balances as you go down. And then also the next one, the darker red portion, actually it shows you the balance and then the interest rate, right? The next side, which is the redder portion, tells you the minimum monthly payment that you're going to be making on each card, minimum monthly payment. And then after that, you go to the yellow portion where you have also the previous number of payments, remaining payments, basically the number of remaining payments if you are paying according to what they are showing on the screen. So now with the debt roll up, this is how we're going to do it.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So like if you look at the minimum payment and the number of years that it's going to take you, or number of months that it will take you to finish paying each debt. So the first on the credit card, if you pay the minimum payment of $10, it's going to take you 19 months to be done paying $150.
$150, but you're paying the minimum. Right. So look at how long it takes for you to break that debt, that credit card down. It's going to take you 19 months paying the minimum. So that's a key thing that she wanted to highlight. And of course, when you go to the bigger one, which is the mortgage, it's going to take you even longer, 361 months. But we will see how the debt roll-up method is going to make you eliminate the debt quicker and make you also do it while you don't see the pain like you could definitely see. All right, so the first thing we'll do is if you, before you see that I added $100 plus to the credit card, we're starting from the bottom up. Now, before you start this, actually, we should have told you, you have to have a conversation with your wife or your husband. Why are you laughing? Not just wife, the wives and husband, or whoever is spending with you, whoever you are spending with in the household, and see how much outflows you are getting, like how much you are spending every month and how much you are also making every month. And then based on that, you make a comprehensive list from cable, or TV service to cell phone bills, home phone bills, internet service, and whatever it is that you are paying. Make a list and see monthly payments of all of them, right? And then also make a list of how much income is coming. That's usually easy because if it's two parents in a home, you definitely know how much each one is bringing, and most of the time it's either one income stream or tops two income streams. So maybe four incomes for a couple. You write them down every month. So based on that, you can see if you have extra money left behind after you make all your bill payments. Now, if you see there's not extra, or there's extra but you can do better, you can eliminate some of the bills by just checking. We are paying, say, for example, you are paying $200 for cable TV, and yet I work every day. I come home like 7 or 8, and I barely watch TV. So why are we spending $200 on cable every month? So maybe you can reduce your cable service to $50 a month. In that case, you can save 150 there. So that 150 can be added as an initial roll-up amount. So if you look on the table here, the top here, next to the right on the bottom, yes, now my mouse is showing. Right here it says roll-up amount.
Okay. Sorry, before we go there, so the part that you were talking about, knowing how much you bring in, your income and your expenses, we can put it like you have to have a budget.
That's your budget, yes.
That's your
your
budget as a family. So you and your husband or your wife should sit down and have a budget. You have to write down a budget so that we are all on the same page, because there is no way that we can get rid of our debt if we are not on the same page, because one person will try to cut down and the other person will still go shopping spree and shop and spend the money. So there should be an agreement between the two of you. One thing that I would add is if you don't put your money together, if everybody saved their money separately, then you can still talk about how you are going to do in such a way that both of you have free money. Because with the investment, both of you are going to invest. So both of you have to have free money, cash flow in order to do the investment. So there should be an understanding between the two of you. Both of you have to sit down and have a budget. I think when we were talking about why the poor keep getting poorer and the rich getting richer, is because the poor person do not have a budget.
Poor people don't have budgets.
Yes. So poor people do not have budget. So within a month, it's likely that you will go to the store and something is on sale. You just jump in it and buy it. Use your cash flow. If you have a budget, you know that, oh, this one is on sale, but I don't need two things. I will still buy one. Even if they say buy one, get one half off. Because you are on budget, you are just going to buy what you need than to use the money that is meant for something else to spend on something you may not use for another 3 months. So both of you have to come together and write a budget, and both of you have to agree. And I think the men should also agree with us. The women, we have extra expenses. So when we are writing the budget, you have to put in something extra for us so that we don't feel like we are being restricted too much. Because if you restrict us too much, it's likely that when we break loose, we will go and spend much more. So we have to sit down and write the budget, and it should be such that every need is catered for. Then if we all agree, then we can move from there. But if we don't write a budget, we don't know what each person is at, and it's likely that it's not going to work. So the most important thing as a family is to sit down and write a budget.
All right. The part that I didn't like, the part I didn't like. That we should give you extra. My goodness, why you always want to get extra, woman? All right, women on the left, click and see if you agree. Comment, put it in a comment section that we agree. But I disagree because I disagree. But That's for
How
another
can you
show.
disagree?
I disagree because
Mhm.
if we are both going to be serious about eliminating debt, why should we make it easier for somebody?
You
you
have
want me
to
to
be
be,
realistic, and the things that we need is much more.
you need
You know,
more.
we need extra things. So just cater for that, and I think the budget is going to work.
So that you guys don't go and spend extra. That's what
Yes.
you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, all right. I
Yeah.
hear you. But I still leave the men out there. If you agree, say yes, we agree. If you don't, say you don't on the comment section. Then we'll vote to see whether the women win on that part. But yeah, that's what we are actually coming to. So basically, after the budget, you should find some money extra left. That is the whole point of doing the budget. So you know where the money is going, how much is left, and how much is if even if something is not left, having the budget, sitting down and looking at what is coming in and what is going out will make you know, and then you can make adjustments as to
Yes.
which bill to which utility that you have that you don't need to eliminate so that you can get some free money on you to do the debt roll up. So starting with a debt roll up on this first, so you start basically from there are two schools of thought. Some schools say that start with the one with the highest interest. Other school says that start with the one which is the minimum. So I think we were going to go with the minimum part, the credit or the loan which has the minimum amount because you can finish that up quickly and free the money on that for the other debt. Now, we after you have agreed that you're not using those cards again, if you are going to continue to use the cards, then this won't work. The whole point is you are not going to use them, but you want to pay for them. You want to pay outright, and that is when this works. So assuming uh, this
Oh,
person,
this was working.
yeah, it was working before, but we'll see. Yeah, we just go on. Assuming this person here has a debt for the first credit card, the lowest credit card amount it was working now. The lowest credit card amount now is $150. We want to eliminate it quickly so that we can move on to the next one. That means that all the other debts are going to be paid at the minimum um, monthly payment due. So the next payment here, we are going to pay only the minimum, pay only the minimum, pay only the minimum, pay only the minimum. This is the minimum that the credit card company or the bank is requiring. And then the money that we freed or the free cash flow that we found from our budget or from maybe canceling our cable or maybe reducing our internet speed to something slower so that we can get some $50 extra or whatever you did, maybe getting less of groceries or maybe eating out less. Some families, some couples go out every weekend. Maybe if you cut two and you go out only twice in a month, you can save maybe $50 or $100 because if you go out and spend $50 per night, per week, you are going to save $100. So that money that you save after you have reviewed your budget, that is your roll up amount, your initial roll up amount, which is going to be added to the minimum payment of your first card, which is the minimum card you have. All right, and so we add $100 to that amount, which is $10 that we're paying. And now we have a new payment amount of 110. If you look on here, this new amount is what we are going to add to pay the first credit card, which is the smallest amount, right? And so that would mean that for the $150 credit card balance that we have, we'll pay twice and we will be done.
2 months.
Yes, 2 months. Because we found free money, free cash flow, we added it to the minimum, the first minimum card. It makes us eliminate that credit card because it's the smallest one in 2 months. So now, when we go on, we see that we have canceled that credit card completely out after the 2 months. This is where you look for your wife's scissors. If your wife has a tailoring machine, this is where you look for scissors just to cut that credit card down and say that you are out of my way. I am out and you are no more my master. I'm not paying you anymore. You are done. Cut it up and throw it out. So,
So
mhm,
instead of using 19 months
mhm,
in paying for the credit card, you use only 2 months to finish paying the
to finish
150
paying.
because of the free money that you found through your budgeting.
Good. Now, for some people, their free money will even take care of the first card, but they didn't know in one shot. But this person, we're going for an average guy like me, you know, who, let's say conservatively, just $100. This person takes only 2 months instead of 19 months of paying the minimum credit balance per month. So that card is gone, it is canceled and cut into pieces. Now we go to the next one. So we are going to add the new $110 that is left. Remember, we are not added anymore, so we are not going to be struggling in life. It's still the same money we had, but because the first card is out and canceled, we're going to add the whole $110 to the last minimum balance, minimum payment on the other card. That is next one. So the next one up, which is the next smallest, if I should say. So we've gone from the smallest card or smallest debt to the highest, right? So the next one on this particular example is a home improvement. And so you add the $110 to the minimum that the bank was requiring and that you were paying before. So 110 plus $50. So how much are we going to pay now? If you see, we are going to add this, and it's going to be $160. 160. Instead of paying $50, you're going to start paying $160 per month. And this is where Gifty's comment came back again. Oh, I thought you were going to say, you want me to say?
Instead of using 38 months in paying for the home improvement balance, you are going to use only 10 months.
10 months.
You cut it by 28 months.
Exactly. And this is because you have rolled up. This is the whole point we are talking about, sample debt roll-up table. You have rolled up the money that was left from after canceling this card onto the next card. All right. And so in the same manner, we take that $160 that we have gained after the 10 months. Slowly but surely we are getting somewhere. You're going to add that $160 into the minimum balance of the next card, which is now $3,000. So we're going from the minimum to the highest, right? So now $3,000. Our minimum is $120 a month. That's our minimum. But now, because we are finished with this card, we are rolling up the free money from that, which is $160 that we were using to pay that card, because that card is canceled and closed out. We are going to use that and add it to the minimum of the next card. So it's going to be $120 plus $160. Right? So now we're going to pay $280 on that card. $280 on that card, which is huge. Now, if we continue to do it, now $280 is going to, well, Gifty's comment didn't come here, but I really want you to see how it's going. What do we see now?
We are, instead of 33 months, we are using 19 months.
Using 19 months.
Paying for MasterCard.
Paying for the MasterCard right now. Just by adding the same, we haven't changed our lifestyle much. Now, if we are lucky and we can even change and add more, it's even going to make it quicker. Yeah. But this is going by just an easy way. 19 months versus 33 months, that card is gone. Now, we are going to add the $280 that we were using for this card, this MasterCard. We're going to add it to the minimum payment of the next card, right? And so we are going to pay $710 because the next card minimum payment was $430. Right? And so we pay $710. Then we are going to use 50 months instead of 72. 72 months is what, 5 years, 6 years or something? Yeah, 6 years. Now we are going to use a little less than 5 years. We have saved time and we have saved interest. We haven't done anything different. It was just the $100 extra that we found. And then, of course, not using the cards anymore. That is the key. If you keep using it, then you're never going to finish. So we did this, and then you get 50 months to be able to do it. And so similarly, we add the 710. We are going to roll this free money up because this card is canceled. It's free money. We are not going to use it to buy anything for the house. This is where if you don't take care, you'll be tempted. Oh, we have 700 extra now. This card is out. No, I'm speaking like a woman because, the women are tempting. Minus my wife. Most women are very tempting. They are going to tell you, honey, we can do this now. Even if we pay $500, we should be able to do it. No. You got to stay focused on your goals. The goal is to eliminate the debt. So now you have $700. Don't pay $500. Add all the $700 to the minimum payment of the next one. All right, which is $350. And then boom, when you add it, this time you are paying $1,000.66. 1,066. Who knew we could do that at some point? And that makes you pay off this debt, this bank debt of 30,000 in 17 months. But remember, previously, as Gifty said,
It was going to take you 121 months.
121 months now brought down to 70
17
months. 70 months, almost half.
51 months cut off.
Almost half, yeah, 51 months of cut off. All we did was finding $300 from our budget. That's all that has happened now. And of course, being disciplined not to use the card or get any additional loans. And so with that, 1,066 gets rid of this debt. And then the next debt, we go on again. We free that 1,066. We add it to the next one, which is the mortgage. And we are paying, for our mortgage was $1,816. Now, we are going to add the extra $1,000 that we found from the debt roll-up, from rolling up the money from the bottom to the top. We're going to add this money onto the mortgage. And guess what? Now we are going to be paying, instead of $1,800, we are going to be paying $2,882, which makes us finish paying off our mortgage in 210 months instead of 361 months. Now, what is better than this? Now, if we keep going, we will see that we started off with 100, right? And now our total payment is $282. And this is how long it took us from getting, instead of 30 years to finish the debt, we are now using 17 and a half years. What is better than that? This is sample debt roll-up. So
with that numbers, you can see that you have 12 years to do investment. Because it was going to take you 30 years to finish paying. But now you freed years.
You freed time.
Time. How many? 12 years. The time that you did not have if you were going to stick to the minimum monthly payments. Now you have 12 years to use the money to do investments that can bring you returns.
Yes.
So it's all about what? Discipline. And if you look at the minimum payment that you were doing, the 2,782. So if you look at the total minimum payment, you were doing 2,782 a month. But with this roll up, just $100 more. Now, instead of doing 2,782 a month, you started doing 2,882. And because of that, you've cut the number of years
almost
by
in half.
12. By 12 years.
30 to 17 and a half. And like I'm saying, most people can even do more than $100 free money. But unless you sit down and put pen to paper, you're not going to know how much you have to put as extra. So the key is to sit down. The people who are in the house, the people who are in the home, you got to make this list. Nothing good comes easy. If you just say that, oh, this is how we're going to do it, it's not going to happen. Put pen to paper, write the cards down, the minimum balance on each. Which one is the most interest? Just start from the smallest, like we are showing here, and find some free money. If all it takes is just, stop eating out, or cancel cable, or cancel TV, or, I don't know which service or where you can find the free money, but everybody knows which one is the easiest to let go. Just let go that one and add it to this. Do the same plan. Do everything on paper. So we are slowing down here. You can copy it. All that you will need to change is the amount. And of course, you can add more if you have more debt, because most people have more than this. Some people have less. So just follow this method and put pen to paper. And we can assure you that in fewer years, for some people may take less than 17. This person has a house. If you don't have a house and you're doing this, give or take 5 years, 10 years, your credit card will be all done and you'll be debt free. How much freedom that is, that you wake up and nobody sends you a bill that come and pay because it's due. It's unknown sometimes when you can even pay and for some reason you forget. These people will send you harassing calls. They will send you harassing calls and make sure that you are not doing what you have to do. They will send you harassing calls and ensure that you are not doing what you have to do. So you definitely need to ensure that you are using this tool. This will help you so much. You definitely need to use the debt roll up method. Now, in
And
it,
since we know that time is money, you don't want to wait.
mhm.
You don't want to wait for that to happen. You have to start right away. And we also sometimes before we started, we were like, oh, we know how much we make, we know how much we spend. So there is no point in putting them to paper. If you do it that way, you're not going to get far because you can easily slip. Something can come up and you will forget yourself and you use money that you do not have, then you end up using the credit card again. But if you have it on paper, pen and paper, and both of you are on board, this will happen. So come together as a family, as a couple. This Valentine's Day, that can be your project. You know, you're going to say that we are not going to spend money that we do not have. If there are things that we have to cut or change, let's do it because that liberty, that freedom that comes from not owing anybody is huge. So I think we have to do something. Women, I know we have everything at our disposal. If we want this to work in the household, it will work. But if we are not on board, there is no way that this is going to work. So let's put pen on paper, put everything together, and let's make this happen because time is money. We need to start investing. We need to start buying the real estate. We need to invest into our future, our retirement. But we can't do that if we are in debt. So let's do it now and let that happen.
All right, all right, all right. That is deep. That is deep. Now, um, I would also add we are wrapping up the show. Just make sure you share and you click the like button. And if you watch alone, you are married or you have a fiancé or whatever, you have a parent, just you can share the video with them. Just the part that we use the roll up method and see how easily you can get rid of your debt. Um, so, Gifty said her concluding remarks. What I'm also going to say is that it is not necessary to be afraid of debt if you have the tools to deal with it, you know. But again, when we go back to the scripture, I mean, the quote that I put, it says, a 1,000-mile journey begins with a step. If you don't start at some point and you procrastinate, there's going to be a time next year, by this time, you may even owe more than you owe now. Because trust me, there's going to be another Valentine's Day. I was surprised that the lady says that this Valentine's Day we can decide not to go. My goodness, this is a dedicated woman.
It's not to go,
Not
to
to go
go,
out.
but to sit down and put the ideas together.
Oh, I thought you said that you can sacrifice Valentine's
No,
Day. You didn't say that you can.
no, I did not. I said like when you go, you can sit down and do the budget together and start
Oh,
something.
my goodness.
You still have to
Man,
spend.
we are not off the hook on that one. All right. Well, but that being said, we do agree that a little adjustment here and there. I mean, if you spend money and it's your cash in your bank account, we don't care. You can spend it. You don't need to. But if it is not there and you have to borrow, basically that is what using credit card is. You are borrowing to spend, to buy, and we are all guilty. Nobody, we nobody taught us this when we graduated from school. No matter how high your degree is, they don't teach you these things. In fact, the banks are good at telling us that you need credit, and they will always look for your credit before they give you huge loans like for mortgages and stuff. But they don't tell you that when you get credit, you have to make sure that credit is managed and you don't add to the credit over and over. They just allow you get it, and then once you break it, you are in deep waters. So we believe that we can do this. And on this show, the Life and Health Show, we remember that we say that we agree to the statement in 3 John 2 that says that, beloved, we wish above all things that in all things you will
You
prosper
prosper.
and be in health, even as your soul is also prospering. So if you are doing well financially, if you are doing well physically, your health wise, and then you can add all those other social prosperity to it. That is the whole beauty of what
That's
God
life.
wants us to experience. And so we don't want to be dominated by debt. I don't. I don't think my wife wants debt to dominate our lives. We don't want it, you know. But if you are going to grow with us together, we're going to continue to show you what we learn, um, and continue to grow together in this, because as we said, there is no place for debt in our lives. We have to definitely eliminate
Eliminate
those debts
completely.
completely. And if you need more information, we have, we like we said last time, um, we have been trained. You can look in our, you can be with us, and oh, my didn't work out like I wanted. But basically, we want to say that we have a place in our lives that we can share with you. If you have any questions about doing stuff, if you have any questions you want to share with us, if you need us to refer you to any gurus, we can help out. Just hitch up on us. I was trying to show you a test line that you could test to, but my system didn't allow me well.
But we can
Maybe
show
I
that.
can do it now. Let me see.
Right.
It's better now. At least you can see we have this right here. You can hitch up with us if you have any questions, and we will be able to. Yes, this is what I wanted to show. We will be able to test us, call, leave a message. We'll be able to help you either in the foundation, the protection part, or how to start your own journey of getting debt free. We are licensed in this area also. We are practicing health professionals, but we don't want to be poor. And so we are doing this. And whatever we learn along the way, we will pass it to you. So grow with us together on this channel as we talk about life and health, because we agree that nobody should work 9 to 5, 40 hours a week and still own,
Retire poor.
retire poor, die poor, leave their family nothing, and also basically live poor. Not just retire poor. All
Retire
your
poor.
life is poverty. We refuse to live that kind of life, and we are learning, and we want you to go on the journey with
And
us.
one thing I learned too is it's not how much you make. People will be like, oh, the two of you are making a lot of money. No, it's not about how much you make. It's about managing what you have. So if you have a lot and you're not able to manage it, you will end up with nothing because you are using most of your money into the credit,
Paying
the
interest.
interest. You are
Yeah.
paying interest. You have a good credit, all right, but because you are putting so much money on the card, you end up paying interest. So it's not about how much you make, it's about how you are able to manage the little that you have and put it in the right places to make you really enjoy life and have a financial freedom to live your life.
All right. So we are going to conclude the show. We see 4 likes and 4 thumbs up and a love. Just keep, if you're watching this after the replay, make sure you like it, you share the stream, with friends, and basically make sure you go through the debt roll-up method and ensure that you definitely are taking care of your own debt, so that we will be debt free together and make money, invest for the future of our own, our children, and our children's children. So until we come your way again, make sure you check out our video on vitamin D, the natural sources of vitamin D, on our channel on Dayspring Life and Health channel, or as it says on the bottom of the screen, go to youtube.com/@DROTENG and watch that video as well as other health videos. Until we see you again, we say that, beloved,
Beloved,
we wish above all things that you prosper and be in
in
health,
health,
even
even
as
as
your
your soul
soul prospers.
prospers.
God bless you,
Thank you
and
for
thanks for being
watching.
with us.